Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Jenna Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. What the holistic human performance community has turned into is something beyond words. I am so grateful for each and every single one of you. And I wanted to talk about what the community is all about. And really, it just started with me going through a really low time in life where I did not have my health as a 2-time cancer survivor. And I really leaned into holistic health, that lifestyle, changing everything about it. Really taking a deep dive into energy medicine and spirituality and combining all of these different aspects of mind, body, and soul together that helped me heal on a deep level. And now I am following out my soul's mission and purpose and bringing this to you all. And so I want to invite you inside of the holistic human performance community. We have an app, which is the HHP app on Apple and Google Play, which you can also get all of these goodies on the desktop as well. And really what you're going to find inside of this community, I call it the Virtual Wellness Center. It's going to be all about holistic health, spirituality, energetics, all different practices, tools, modalities. So we have things like sound bath meditations, we have breath work, we have tapping series, we have workouts, we have somatic healing, we have masterclass series, we have programs. I have other professionals come on inside of the app to teach. So there's so many cool things you get inside of this community. And so I wanted to give this to you all as a membership. And what you're getting is a monthly membership where you have 300 plus on-demand videos, plus live stream classes and programs and courses. You're literally getting all of these incredible tools to take with you wherever, whenever you need. And so for $33 per month, you get access to this. Or you can do annual, which is $320 for the year. You're getting all of this inside of the Holistic Human Performance Virtual Wellness Center. And not only that, you could try it out for 1 week free and cancel whenever you want. So these are things that are going to help reprogram your subconscious mind, you regulate your nervous system, keep you healthy and navigating life with full life force energy, and really helping you to express yourself authentically while also enhancing your health and your well-being so that you can find and follow your soul's mission and purpose. So I invite you inside of this community. It is so beautiful and juicy. And not to mention, we have a whole section inside of the app where it is a community forum so we can chat with each other and talk about our wins, what we're going through, and so much more. And I don't know if I mentioned, if you are a one-on-one coaching client, you get full access to the entire Virtual Wellness Center membership. So I invite you inside of the HHP community. Again, you can get your week free trial on Apple or Google Play or right on your desktop at holistichumanperformance.co.
Hello and welcome to the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Jake Santora, excited to discuss Gemini season. Jenna can't be with us today, but she will be joining us in future podcasts and future seasonalities, but we wanted to broadcast out, as always, the value of this astrological season. Just so happens, Gemini is a very, very powerful one. And as we always want to preference, it doesn't just mean that you need to be a specific Gemini to leverage these energies. What's beautiful about the seasonalities of all these astrological signs, is that there is a collective energy force all around us. So although our Gemini signs and our Gemini features might be different in all of our birth natal charts, there's always going to be this collective energy around us in these seasons that we can tap into, which can make it really, really beneficial if we're intentional about our manifestations, intentional about the experiences we have when we have some insight into the true core energy forces that are just circling around us in the universe right now. Now, as a preference, if you're a first-time listener, someone just getting into astrology, when we say seasonalities and the power of why I love astrology is more than just the spiritual sense of my connectivity to universal forces, this alignment of energy of our souls with the external energies of the universe. But you're really looking at this universal force right now above us, the sun. The sun is in the Gemini star sign above us, and it will remain there for the next few weeks. So when we say, hey, are you a Gemini? That's always going to resemble someone that's born in this time frame. And that really resembles, again, the sun is literally sitting in this zodiac sign above us, making the environment of our universe right now have a lot of this Gemini energy, but it will relate to people that are born as a Gemini. It will be their sun sign, one of the basic foundations of astrology. The forming of what is your sign is always going to really relate to your sun sign. So we do want to preference that right now, if those are being born, those who have been born, anybody listening that is a Gemini because their sun sign is Gemini, they were born in this season. A couple of notes that actually became pretty powerful. I actually love looking at who are some famous Geminis that we might not even know. Tom Holland is actually one of them. If you remember him from Spider-Man, he is a Gemini. Angelina Jolie is a Gemini as well. And then one of my mentors, a really close friend of mine, but he shifted from playing in the NFL, winning the Heisman in college, to now actually teaching astrology. And I highly recommend looking at his app that he's conducting with his wife. But Ricky Williams is a Gemini, recently had a birthday, has really embodied these energy forces, and I recommend the app Leela, which is the focus on astrology and something that they've really leveraged their Gemini energies into with him and his wife and other partners along the way. But a couple notes there of some famous Geminis that were born. But you don't just have to be a sun sign Gemini to embody the energies that are around us. That's why these seasons can be so impactful and forceful to lean into. But as always, if you ever want to learn more about, your specific impact of Gemini, your specific impact of the planets that are in your own chart, feel free to always sign up for an astrological analysis. The link is in our posting. A link is on our website. We are always happy to go in depth. It would be an astrology analysis to really understand your soul's blueprint and understand what planets and signs are playing an impact into specific experiences of this lifetime. Now, as we go further though on Gemini, and to that of how it might be affecting you in your own chart, is you're not just going to look at the sign Gemini, but you're also going to look at the planetary ruler. And the planetary ruler of Gemini is Mercury. So when we talk about Gemini here and the key energy forces of Gemini, we're also kind of correlating to the planetary energies of Mercury. They begin to go hand in hand. So again, when you're looking at your chart, there is this collective energy around us, but how our Mercury or Gemini experiences, how they might manifest in real time, in reality, is going to maybe relate differently. All right, so it's just looking at your chart, gaining some clarity there. You could go even further. But if you're just at the foundation and you want to keep things very basic and secure, a couple tactics that you really want to focus on are the core energetic values of Gemini and Mercury. And what that really is going to be boiling down to is you're looking at forms of communication. Gemini is the sign of the twin. A lot of people may take that twin aspect to more of a collective modern psychology saying where the twins are known as, you were born a twin, right? Biological assistants. I'm curious to run a research project and learn, hey, are more twins born in Gemini season? Is there some correlation? It's always the fun part of astrology to play with things like that. But for me, when I think about the sign twin, especially when it comes to the astrological alignment, I see it more in the form of going back to that core value of communication as an energy, where you look at a twin, it's more the twin of I absorb information, how am I communicated to, and then how is it analyzed within, and how do I communicate out, right? So when we say communication, it isn't just talking. You're going to hit home that other energetic point there for Gemini and Mercury, where it's really about the intelligence, the intellect, right? How do I gain that intellect? I have to listen, right? The third pillar of this beautiful energy, listening, listening. So communication, overall intelligence and intellect, and then listening. So all of those really combining into maybe that overall mindset of our intelligence, because we need to learn how to gain insight, right? It's a learning curve, but you're gaining, you're being communicated towards, and then can you analyze and verbalize that outward? So these are the main experiences you want to focus on, where yes, I said learning, that's going to be another key point to this energy of the collectiveness, but how do we learn? Through conversations a lot of the time. Or how do we learn? Are we having a communication with ourselves, right? Is it our soul talking to us? Our manifestations or our meditation work, is there medium work? Am I talking to a deeper understanding of the other side of dimensional travel? It depends on where maybe you believe your spiritual journey is or your spiritual connections. But really honing in on to listening, communicating, learning are going to be so pivotal. So learning from others, what feedback am I getting, right? From coworkers, what feedback am I getting from family members? But really being in tune to listen. And maybe if you've had some difficulties in either listening or communicating, this is a great time to try something new. Do something different. The energy is there. It's like a gateway. The valve is ready to be released. So taking on, new ears, new verbs, new words, this could be a great time to see it actually stick. And if those new forms are happening in a healthy communication way or a healthy way of learning, the confidence will continue to build, and you're basically rewiring and refiring the neurological pathways of your mind, which is setting into that intellectual piece of Gemini and Mercury in this setting, which is so, so powerful. So when we think about an aim for this season, going to the simple, how am I communicating? How do I learn? And what do I want to learn? These are all great elements to consider. I would say, we usually do a question of the season. So the question of the season would really hone in on that. What do I want to learn, right? Or how am I communicating? I think these two are great ones. Whether you want to learn something new, that's just where life has you right now. Maybe a new book. This is a beautiful time. New book, whether it's audio book or actually reading the book. Maybe you want to take a new course. Maybe there's a certification out there that you wanted to go obtain. This is a great time to gain and absorb the energy of those opportunities in learning. But then also, how am I communicating? So gaining feedback maybe from others when you're talking, but look how you're writing emails. Look how you're writing texts. Maybe you change some long-worded text into different emojis. Maybe you want to play around with your communication, but the energy's there to be conscious of your communication skills as well. So if you can do both, great. Set a goal for it, right? So going from the question to maybe a goal of the season, but could you learn one thing new? Just one thing. Maybe it's one thing through these weeks that you can learn. If you really want to challenge yourself, can I learn one thing new every single day? What power that could bring you. But this is a great season to do so, to really get better at communicating and listening. But the energies are there. Energies are so powerful. And as we kind of preference into this season, it always gives leverage to our evolutionary process. So the collective energy around us is going to prime you for the experiences to learn, to communicate. Just be more tuned in. And I think you'll see a vastly new perspective of yourself. You'll learn so much about yourself and in these forms of the energy of Gemini season. But remember that twin is going to be gaining insight and communicating it out. So maybe starting off this season with that learning, and then, could I present my learnings to a family member, to a friend, right, at the end of the season, and look at how far you've come. But this is the power of the seasons. This is where everything can start to come together. Again, always reach out to us if you want more insight of how Gemini and Mercury are showing up in your birth chart and how those activations have correlated and connected to your life. But overall, this is the energy of the society right now. And in this Gemini season, highly recommend leaning into these energies, being conscious about your effort for leaning into them. And it's just going to be an incredible season for you if you can do so. So please feel free to make sure that you can reach out anytime with questions. Feel free to let us know. We're always here to help. You can always book a session with myself for astrology analysis. And then also Jenna has incredible offerings from spiritual school to her own private sessions where we're helping more of the overall performance of an individual's mindset and overall lifestyle. So we're happy to be producing the broadcasting of the energies of the astrological alignment, but remembering there is the work to put in once we have the information. It's how do I want to leverage this energy within, whose help do I need to gain a little more insight. So it really hones off on how we can leave off is if you want to learn more about yourself, feel free to book an astrology analysis, book one of our spiritual sessions. There's some great courses in there. So this could be a great opportunity for you to be in the position to learn more and work with us even closer, tapping even further into the Gemini season. Thank you so much. We'll be back soon and we'll jump into the next season in a couple weeks.